100 years. Just launch from space station, fly for a couple of weeks, get your data, wave the flag. Now do a better one on the second one. But I agree, we have, and I mean, and there's a number like that. You know, the breeze one, frequencies is another, and it all comes down to being good citizens and working with the rest of the space community, the minority.
Just be careful about the ISS. I am not a lawyer, but US is ready to be launching state for all that. This ISS launching is still for me very shaky. But okay, last question, because I don't want to kill completely more at the session before you and not to kill your lunch. Last question.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'm Nat Chabert from Airbus Defence and Space. I'd like to jump on the last remark and to raise actually a great concern. It's very good to talk about spectrum, of course we should. It's very good to talk about debris removal, but the first concern is actually to get to space and to have an access to space with obviously launcher. And this comes together with, of course, what is a great concern for big fat dinosaur industry that I represent here, that is the export control. And if you happen basically to have a very nice piece of technology, process, whatever, an ASIC from the US, most of the launchers list I've seen this morning from the gentleman from the Islamic State, ISIS, well, except the two of the, I think, 8 launchers on the list, all the others will have issue with export control and will have no possibility to fly from it. So the question is, how do you address export control, the small CubeSat things? Because obviously it's also applicable no matter if it's amateur, professional, experimental. This is a critical matter. And how at the end you will get to orbit except from basically US launcher or European launchers.
Yeah, then another administrative body in the US that doesn't like me much. But actually they actually made a change, and ITAR has changed as of November. They've changed a little bit. It hasn't had as much of an effect on the big satellites because a lot of their technology is exquisite, you know, imaging and very high performance. On the CubeSat side, it's clean house. At TIVAC, most of what we do is ITAR free right now. And it's on commerce, which doesn't mean it's free, it's still commerce.
ITAR free or not, you will not be able to be launched from an SST 18, 19, or it doesn't matter which all the launcher outside the US and Europe.
Yeah, we have to go through processes, but they've been very good at letting us fly. Russia has been okay, India has been okay, China no way.
We've got a certain number of satellites in a clean room that hasn't got the same, let's say, opinion.
Yeah, but it's better than it was.
Thank you very much.
Thanks.
Look, I don't hide. We tried with Yvonne to look also on this, but finally we decided no. For us, it was 2 days, plus it's a regulatory symposium. That's why anybody of you is free to call for a small satellite launchers symposium. We are very happy to come, and I fully support that this is a serious issue, but we try to be on the regulatory side. And now we have a shiny case of 4 projects. Please pay extreme attention. That there are 4, sorry to say, small countries, because I'm from Slovakia, that's why I compare who's bigger or smaller. Slovakia is a small country. We have our neighbors, Austria, Hungary, little bit far Slovenia and Finland, but they speak little bit like I speak Hungarian, and everybody thinks that Hungarian and Finnish language is same, but it's not same. These 4 countries, they launch, if I'm correct, I think I'm correct, their first CubeSat. It was a breaking news in the TV, spotlight, everything. Very nice. But I have to tell also that these 4 countries from A to Z following the radio regulation. That's why I'm sending this a message to the whole world, even if it's broadcasted now. I am asking how it's possible that these 4 small countries were able to do everything in the correct time without any problem, and others, even much bigger, with a big support of regulatory authorities, big support of industry, big support of everything, follow time to time, don't follow. Very nice message of good citizens, very nice message. Thank you, very nice. And I would like to invite Professor KOUDELKA. Thank you, perfect. Everybody knows Professor KOUDELKA, and he is a professor, studied on the university. That's why you are one of the lucky that you studied on the university and you are professor on the same university. That's why you know everything there, from the minus to basement up to the roof, because he's also a radio amateur. That's why he knows that the antennas have to be on the roof. He created not that antennas are on internet and we don't need antennas, because now we have even professors who say, oh, antennas is not necessary, we do everything on internet. He created a space center on the technical university, and he is one of my key partners for this meeting, because he is everywhere on all megahertz, overheads. Yesterday, today, tomorrow he's conducting the link budget workshop. Today afternoon, flying spectrum analyzer. This is my life dream. Make a CubeSat, a flying spectrum analyzer that in IMU can see whatever frequency, whatever on the world, geolocation, piff, puff. Okay, this is our dream. Otto, microphone is yours.
Thank you very much. So thank you very much, Attila. I mean, too much of introduction, way too much, really. So, ladies and gentlemen, I will give you now an overview of the BRITE mission. How do we move forward here?
You see, I'm happy to assist the professor. You need to
Okay, wonderful, wonderful. It always helps to push the on button. So, BRITE stands for Bright Target Explorer, and it's an astronomical mission. A little bit of background, how this project came about. I talked about that very little yesterday already. The Austrian Aeronautics and Space Agency in 2004 asked whether we would be interested in a CubeSat mission. And then I sat together with my friend and colleague at that time, Isa, Manfred Wittig, and at the ISC in Vancouver, over a wonderful steak and very good beer, we engineered a mission. It was flying an FPGA, one space qualified and a non-space qualified one, in a CubeSat and do some communications experiments. Our friends from the astrophysics department at the University of Vienna, they were interested in astronomy. However, I mean, Austria is a small country, there is limited budget, and we were asked, well, there are different interests, technology on the one side, astronomy on the other one, can't you join forces? So in the end, we did, and we teamed up with our friends and colleagues at the Spaceflight Lab at the University of Toronto, who had already started with a mission design, and then we formed a team. We filed a proposal, and in 2006, we won the contract. And this is how the 2 Austrian spacecraft came about. It's a mission in red and white. So just by coincidence, all the partners now in BRITE have in their national flags red and white, Austria, Poland, Canada. And by now, we are proud to say we have 5 operational spacecraft of BRITE in space. I mean, in space there are 6, but our Canadian colleagues had a little bit of problem due to some launcher problem, but these 5 are now doing very good science. Actually, this picture here was taken with our telescope. This is the well-known star field of Orion. And the scientific goal is to measure the brightness variation of massive luminous stars with unprecedented accuracy. So stars with the astronomical magnitude 3.5 to 4 are being observed with a small telescope. This is 17 centimeters long with a CCD sensor. Here's the lens, here's the baffle. And the requirement was quite demanding. So just to give you a comparison, we have to have a resolution of 1/1000th of an astronomical order of magnitude. That would mean you observe, let's say, the Empire State Building at night from some long distance. All windows are illuminated, and then one puts the shutter 1 inch down, and this brightness variation would be exactly what we would measure here. So that's working. We have a fairly high duty cycle during every orbit. The spacecraft look at a particular selected target star, and we make numerous observations, and then key to doing this fine resolution is averaging. So this is BRITE in all its beauty. It's based on the excellent bus from UTIAS, the generic nanosatellite bus. It's 7 kilograms, 20 times 20 times 20 centimeters. It's a cube. We're generating between 6 and 10 watts of electrical power. Here is the telescope. Here is the star tracker, the magnetometer, solar cells, and the S-band antenna for downlink. Here, the UHF antennas for uplink. They are not yet shown here. It's a 3-axis stabilized spacecraft with momentum wheels, and we succeeded to provide, together with the star tracker, in the order of less than an arc-minute of pointing accuracy, which is required for the photometric measurements. The communication system, and here we are talking a lot about communications, is based on S-band. Here we are in the coordinated S-band. The uplink is in the UHF amateur radio band. So we underwent through the Austrian administration the whole process. So we did proper frequency coordination. And our contract was signed in February 2006. And in March 2006, I had a meeting with the administration. So there we started. So the process was started immediately. So we had no rush whatsoever. And the process was really smooth. So on the downlink, the S-band downlink, we can operate up to 256 kilobits per second. The uplink for the commands is 9.6 kilobits per second. And currently, we are downloading from the Austrian ground station per day 20 megabyte. Specified was 2 megabyte per day. So we increased the scientific throughput by a factor of 10. And I come to that in a moment, if we hadn't interference, we would have twice that much of throughput. The two Austrian satellites, TUG-SAT-1 BRITE Austria, is synonymous. This was built at my institute. The sister satellite, UniBRITE, was ordered by the Institute of Astrophysics, and it was built in Toronto. We were both launched on PSLV C20. On the 25th of February, so last week we celebrated 2 years of successfully being in orbit. Actually, this was a perfect orbit injection. The TLEs were valid for 26 hours. Yeah? So our first pass over the ground station was at very low elevation, 7 degrees only, so normally difficult, particularly with only predicted TLEs. So we were hoping for it, but we were not really sure. But I mean, when the spacecraft came over, and this was one of my best days in life from the whole team, it was like Christmas, Easter, and birthday simultaneously. Spacecraft arrived, spectrum analyzer, blip up, and telemetry screen became green. It was wonderful. So this is our little Houston in Graz mission control. We have a 3-meter dish for S-band, and then 2 cross Yagis for UHF uplink. We can operate it automatically And for instance, 3 weeks ago, we had a meeting at ESA, practically the whole team. And in the evening,